My loves, how are we doing? How are we feeling? It's a very happy Saturday with me today. Just finished work. It was a bright and early start this morning. Venice is also in kind of full spooky, foggy mode today, which I love. You don't get to see it that much in the summer, obviously, because the weather is usually really nice. But in the winter, when you get these really dense, foggy days, I actually really like it. Venice is a place that looks very good in the fog. It's still colourful, it's still beautiful, despite the fact you can barely see your own hand held out in front of you. But I am finished work for this morning because despite the fog, despite the cold, the gelato still sells, folks. I'm home. I stopped by a new kind of favorite place that we have in Venice at the moment for food. It's called Meat Lab, or the Atled Meat Lab, at least I think that's how it's pronounced. They have this chicken kebab that I really like. It's kind of somewhere between your classic kind of doner kebab and Greek hero, like somewhere in between. It's really, really good. They also do pulled pork and pastrami and lots of kind of other globally inspired food that isn't typically Italian, and I had a real craving for like roast chicken. But I'm home now and I would very much like to organize all of the chocolate I have. Now that probably sounds ridiculous, but there really, really is a lot. I also want to do a little bit of baking this afternoon. Nothing particularly heavy in terms of actual recipe content, but just to use up some ingredients we have and to make something nice to have to eat in the house, obviously. Let me show you the state of this chocolate cupboard at the moment. So this is the chocolate cupboard. Now this is, this was supposed to be where we were keeping things to keep them organized. Instead, yeah. So if you guys haven't watched the hot chocolate review, you can find that on the channel, but I still have a few of those to finish, as you can see, including the enormous bag of marshmallows and the chocolate orange baking drops that I got from the same company as well. And I just feel it's about time to have a little look at this, because some of these have been opened and taste tested, some of them have been started, some of them I haven't even properly looked at yet, and I've forgotten honestly some of what is in here. And there are many chocolate reviews still to be done, many just to be eaten and enjoyed, but let's do something about it. So some of the stuff in here, honestly, I have no idea what this is. For example, we have just some random extra dark chocolate in here, which I have absolutely no idea what's going on with. So let me set that to one side. There's a whole load of Werther's Originals here, which I believe came in the box that the lovely Josh of It's Josh Eats sent me. Still to get round to these because we have them in the UK, so I know exactly how good these are. Otherwise, there's a LOL surprise thing. No idea. We also have a few of these random Perugina pieces of chocolate that I believe we got as a kind of gift before Christmas. We got like a big box of them. Now we just have a few left over. Clearly all the ones that I am supposed to eat because it's all the dark ones. This is actually from the Ritter Sport Advent Calendar. It's now, as I film this, the 17th of February. Let me just eat this. Get this out of the way today, to be honest. We also have some slightly ridiculous stuff, like these popping candy chocolate biscuit things that clearly we bought at this kind of Asian festival that was not too far away from us. I think they're Korean, but they're in, you know, still going to be okay until October this year, so I'll just keep those to one side. Otherwise, we have rum, raisin, and I think hazelnut. Yeah, rum, hazelnut, and raisin Ritter Sport Bar. Had this before, pretty good. Probably just keep it for snacking purposes. We also have in here, very unfortunately, still the Mr. Beast chocolate. I feel bad saying that because it was actually a gift, but if you guys haven't seen the review yet, don't bother, to be honest, don't bother. We also have just some classic Novi dark chocolate. I'm actually going to move this to my baking cupboard because this is more a kind of baking chocolate than a snacking chocolate. Decent quality, but I have lots of other things clearly to be getting through first. So let me set that to one side. The Mr. Beast stuff, honestly, if I never see this again, it's not a problem. We have some stuff that I do want to review, including lots of delicious looking cioccolato di Modica. Now, this is a Sicilian thing, and it's basically super rough ground chocolate. So it's not kind of smooth and melting in the mouth. It's almost like a sandy cookie dough kind of texture, and it's really, really good. So I have a pistachio one in here. I have a vanilla, I think I have another one, but I'm going to put this into a kind of pile of stuff to be reviewed for you lovely folks. We have a couple of these blonde Valrhona bars. So this one actually has coffee in it, like roasted coffee bean pieces in it, and this one's just a classic blonde chocolate, otherwise known as caramelized white chocolate. The coffee one, I think I will just keep for snacking purposes again, and this one maybe for a recipe at some point. I have a box of Omnom here, which I believe has been mostly eaten. Ah yes, so this was actually the winter collection from last year that I got on discount this autumn, I think around November kind of time. And it contains their spiced white caramel chocolate, the milk and cookies bar, which is clearly empty, and also the dark chocolate and raspberry. Ah, so there's only actually a little bit of chocolate left in this one. Allow me to take care of that. I have some interesting flavored chocolate bars from a brand I've never tried before here called Alto Mercato. Dark chocolate with pomegranate, which I'd never seen before. Milk chocolate, but a vegan milk chocolate with coconut, something I have had before and something I'm a big fan of, but you don't really find it very much in Italy. And also dark chocolate with turmeric and pepper. This one I found really, really interesting, whether those flavors can hold up to dark chocolate and just how they're going to taste. So this is definitely one that I would like to review, so I will keep it in a little separate box. This one, honestly, I bought it with the idea that it was something different, and I'm a little bit terrified of it. So this is dark chocolate, like 58% dark chocolate with a banana filling. There's only 2% banana and the rest of it is like added flavoring. So I think I already know that this is going to taste like that very specific chest infection medicine, you know, the bright yellow stuff that they give to kids. And I'm not a huge fan of that fake banana smell. So this was a great idea when I bought it. I am actually quite scared of it. I also have in here some Christmas presents I received, including a gingerbread milk chocolate from Cocoa, which is a brand in Edinburgh. I also got a lovely cold brew coffee bar as part of the same gift, but that one is already gone. I got these instead from my parents over Christmas. One is a dark chocolate with cranberry and hazelnut, and another ginger and lime dark chocolate. Maru is a brand I've only tried once, and I was very, very impressed. So I'm very excited to try this one. But these, I'm afraid, people are all for Kelly's personal enjoyment pile. A somewhat letdown of a bar, I have to say. Violetto is a bar, a chocolate company here in Italy, and they have made some great stuff that I've been really impressed by. But this one personally was just a little bit meh. It's a salted white chocolate with pistachios and almonds. It mostly just tastes like a slightly salted, crunchy white chocolate. The pistachio and the almond don't really have much flavor, in my opinion. It's still nice, it just doesn't taste much of pistachio. So happy to finish it, but it's not as kind of wow as I thought it was going to be. I also have the remainders of the IKEA chocolate bars, which you guys may have already seen the review for, which I'll get around to eating them at some point. I also have some leftover Christmas chocolate here. These are pistachio pralines that I got as a gift for Christmas. I've eaten a couple, and I might have a couple more of these right now, but we'll put on the top of my to be eaten pile. I have a couple of Kit Kats in here, and I don't really know why. I know that this one was part of the box that the lovely Josh sent to me from Canada, and it's basically identical to the British one. I also have just like a normal British Kit Kat here, and I don't know why. Actually, it's not a British Kit Kat because it's got everything written in Italian on the back. So someone must have just bought a 4-finger Kit Kat. I don't really know. I have these 2 bars from Beta 5. You guys, the review for this is coming on either Wednesday or Thursday next week, and I think you're going to enjoy it. That's all I'm going to say. Afterwards, I have a whole collection of Perugina chocolate lollies and things that we made as part of a chocolate making class that we took in December, including one that says "Oh hi." I don't know if you can read it, but that's the patriotic chocolate lollipop. Who's gonna eat it? I don't know. And finally, I have the remainders of this Venezuelan dark chocolate from Mastro Cianuri, which I also got when we were in Perugia back in December. Absolutely gorgeous. Venezuelan chocolate or Venezuelan cocoa is some of my favorite tasting cocoa that I've ever had so far, at least anyway, and I love to pick it up when I can. So this one I've been eating slowly and savouring. I had some yesterday, but I need to not eat it all in one sitting, ideally. This mostly just needs to be organised into what is to be eaten and when. Help. But before we get into it, let's have that much needed energy break. Admittedly still full, but so much better. Everything that's already opened or individual in here, stuff to be reviewed here, my own stuff, and either shared or not my stuff over here. Much happier with this. Now, let's do some baking. So what I want to bake with is this. It's basically a jam or a conserve made with quince, which is known as melicotogne or sometimes melicotognata here in Italy. We got this from a shop not too far away from where we live. First, I need to kind of taste this to understand what it is I'm making. And by understand what I'm making, I don't mean just necessarily the flavour, but also the consistency of this, because, oh God, why are the men never here when things are to be opened? Oh, thank God. Okay. Spoiler, when you can't open a jar, jam like a spoon or the handle of something under this bit and just literally wedge it open like a crowbar. It's probably not that much of a kind of life hack that not that many people would know about though. This is exactly why I wanted to open this up and check the consistency before I started making a recipe with it. There are jams that are really kind of liquid and therefore are fine to be baked and not just used as like a topping or a filling for something. But this looks like, it's like a solid. It's literally solid. It smells amazing, but let me taste also, because obviously if something is solid and already super sweet, you don't want to bake it to then reduce it even further. Do you know what I mean? That way you're going to be reducing both the amount of liquid to make it even more solid, and you're going to be reducing the amount of liquid, therefore making it even more sugary and sweet. God, that's good though. So the ingredients are basically just the fruit, sugar and glucose syrup added to it. While it isn't that sweet, that texture is going to be interesting to work with. I have a feeling this is going to be much better, as I already suspected, for some kind of fruit crumble bars with almost like a shortbread base rather than as a pie filling. This is a pie filling, I think would have a really weird texture if I reduced it down even more, and I would hate for it to become like something that if you threw it to the wall, it would bounce back. I may give this a stir, like take it out, put it in a separate bowl, give it a stir to see what the texture becomes like then, and spread it on top of some shortbread to bake it with a little crumble topping. See what happens. Also, I don't want to use the whole thing in case it turns out shite, because it wasn't me that paid for this. Let's see what we can do.